Micronics. Now there's a name we haven't heard in a long time. The previous Famicom game that we know that we worked on was Bloody Warriors, all the way back in 1990. And either they haven't done a whole lot since then, or they became a lot better at hiding their tracks. They make their triumphant return to the platform that they stunk up a lot, with the third and final entry in Irem's Kaiketsu Yanchamaru series. The first game was known in the US as Kid Nicky Radical Ninja. This game has been given a subtitle, Kaiketsu Zoringen, or Showdown Zoringen, because I guess everyone was waiting for Yanchamaru's final battle with Zoringen. I play these games and even I don't care about the deep Yanchamaru lore. This is also the last game published in March 1993, which doesn't seem like much of a milestone, except that March was the busiest release month in 1993 for the Famicom. With every day that ticks by, there's fewer sales on a Famicom game, and by the time we reach the usually busy month of December, pretty much everyone is out. The plot of Kaiketsu Yanchamaru 3 is that the princess has been abducted, again, and it's up to everyone's favorite radical ninja Kaiketsu Yanchamaru to get her back. There are 7 stages in the game, though they are very large, sprawling levels. The way that most stages work is that you're barricaded into a small area and have to collect a key to open a door to move on to the next section. Eventually, the final section will lead to a boss. Yanchamaru has a huge array of abilities at his disposal. Hitting A will jump, usually, while B takes an action with his staff. If you're standing on flat ground and hit B, then he swings and a wave shoots out of it. If you're jumping and hold up or down and hit B, then he sticks his staff out in that direction. You can use the staff to pogo off enemies this way, but you don't get a lot of height from it. You can also use your staff to interact with a lot of objects, like the switches that move platforms back and forth, or these balls that will let you jump higher. Holding down and pressing B when you're on the ground does nothing. There is no load swing. But holding down and pressing A will make you slide. The trickiest move, and the most useful, is the wall bounce. You do that by holding down B and then jumping into a wall. Yanchamaru will bend his staff into the wall, and then releasing B will send him spinning away. Although it looks like an attack, it is not an attack. It is possible to do this repeatedly to scale up small shafts, but the timing can be a little bit tricky to get down. There are more things that you can do with the staff. It's how you swim when you're underwater. You paddle with the staff by hitting B. You can't move up and down in the water with the jump button, though if you are standing on the ground underwater, that's how you can jump up. You have to jump up to get out of the water too. The staff doesn't propel you up that hard, though you can get in a boat and scale a waterfall with the staff. Besides the keys that you have to collect to progress, you'll find hearts laying around on stages. Naturally, these will restore your health. You'll also find images of the princess's face, and these will restore health as well as let you go to a bonus stage after you defeat the boss. Defeated enemies can drop coins, and those are only good for bonus points. They can also drop scrolls that will make you invulnerable for a short time. The bosses in Kaiketsu Yanchamaru 3 are not fun. They have a bad tendency to be invulnerable for a long time, and then the points where you can strike them aren't really that visibly different from when you can't. The first boss in particular, you can only strike them when they land on the right-hand side of the screen. It's supposed to be after they've thrown their fireballs to make them vulnerable, but by the time they've thrown their fireballs, you're already hit. So you have to hit them while they still have the invulnerability effect around them. The only way to consistently avoid their shot is to walk into the room's door, and that slows down the boss fight even further. The other boss fights aren't nearly that bad, but they're still slow and not much fun. For the bonus stage, you're given a set of balloons that you need to pop. You can pop 3 of them, and they contain icons that will give you some extra points. But if you pop them in the correct order, then you get an additional bonus. Red, gray, and white gets you an extra life. Gray, white, and red will double your attack for the next stage. And white, red, and gray will double your defense. You have 3 lives with which to beat the game, but they also give you infinite continues. If you do wind up stuck, there is a cheat code. You can hold down A and B on controller 2, and then press start. Kaiketsu Yanchamaru 3 is an extremely rare game, and that means it's pretty much unknown in Japan. Even fans of the Yanchamaru series don't know it exists. It is another member of the 10,000 Yen Club, that exclusive club where if you want to purchase a cartridge-only copy of it, you're going to be spending at least 10,000 yen. I might have just flagged Kaiketsu Yanchamaru 3 as yet another average platformer, but there's a lot of weird little problems with it that keep dragging the whole thing down. Like how far forward you have to be on the screen for it to scroll, or how slow all of the boss fights are, or how there's a lot of places where it's effectively impossible to avoid damage, or how awkward the swimming is, or how in some places you can get damaged over and over again. Kaiketsu Yanchamaru 3 is a game with a lot of weird little flaws that'll just keep annoying you as you play. It's not as bad as a lot of what Micronics has put out on the Famicom, but it is pretty mediocre.